In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to use FontAwesome. So with the default or vanilla installation of Bootstrap, Bootstrap includes a type of icon that you can use called glyph icons or glyphicons or whatever you want to call them. Okay, so let me just go to Bootstrap and show you what I mean. Okay, so you can go under CSS, you can go to components, and right under components you will see glyph icons. Okay, so these are the available icons that you can use very easily in Bootstrap. But generally speaking, whenever I design anything, I don't use the Bootstrap ones because it's quite limited. Okay, and you would need more options when you want to create more unique buttons. So most people I know use FontAwesome. To get FontAwesome, you can just Google FontAwesome. First result that you see here, fontawesome.github.io/FontAwesome. So let's click on FontAwesome. So FontAwesome is an additional script that you have to include into your pages in order to start using them. And let's look at the icons offered by FontAwesome. So there are a total of 519 icons. That is great, and that's also bad news, as I will explain later. So basically, by using FontAwesome, there are a few advantages that you have over the default Bootstrap fonts. First, of course, is there are tons of options of the icons for you to choose from. And second is the icons are better for mobile devices or high resolution or retina screens because they're not images, right? They're just text that have been modified to look like images. And the third advantage of using FontAwesome is that you can have, if you click on examples in FontAwesome, you can style it much better than the default icons in Bootstrap. Okay, you can increase the size very easily just by adding an additional class, and you can put it into list groups, list icons. You can create a border around those icons, you can animate them, you can rotate them, you can stack them up, and there's lots of things that you can do with FontAwesome. So now let's get back to our course files. You click on your project and you'll find FontAwesome already inside your course files. And the actual fonts or SVG files used by FontAwesome are also in your course files. So when you refer back to FontAwesome, if you try to look for a font, click on icons and you can actually search for the font that you want here. Take note that there are always new fonts being introduced in FontAwesome. So if you search for a font here and you try to implement that in the course materials and those fonts you can't find those fonts, then most probably you would need to update those files. Okay, fontawesome.min.css, and all these files need to be updated. It's very easy to do, however. So now let's start with actually creating an icon with FontAwesome. Okay, so let's minimize this and let's start with blank.html. Going to save it as icons. Okay, going to split the window to preview separately. Alright, so I'm just going to leave the default text without any grids or containers because what we are really focusing on is the icons themselves. Okay, so FontAwesome can be applied to a text, it can be applied to a button, it can be applied to a list, it can be applied to images, it can become images if you make it large enough. It can be applied to almost anything. In this case, we're just going to apply it to a basic text over here. Alright, so let's delete this and type in FontAwesome. Okay, and now the basic, let me make this as big as I can. The basic method to implement FontAwesome is to use the I tag. So in older versions of HTML, the I tag was used to italize text, but generally speaking, most people don't use I anymore, and they use EM to italize the text. So FontAwesome is using the I tag for CSS in HTML to implement their fonts. So you need to type in I, and then you go to class. Oops. You need to type in I, and then you go to class. Okay. Okay. So to start with, you need to first call the basic FontAwesome CSS, which is FA, and this is the fundamental or the foundation level of all FontAwesome fonts. Next, you would specify the actual font. Okay, so it's pretty hard to remember the names of the fonts. There are over 500 fonts. I do remember some, however, so I'm going to type in FA home. Okay, and I'm going to close that, and I'm going to close the I tag. Alright, so you see here very easily you can see FontAwesome. This is perhaps a bit too small, so instead of using a paragraph, I'm going to use a H1 tag over here to make it very easy for you to see the actual font. And this is the home font. So you can change this to anything you want. Okay, and to be honest with you, I get confused with the way FontAwesome has named their fonts, and therefore you will always probably need to go back to FontAwesome, click on icons here, and try searching for the fonts. You can browse through the fonts, but it's generally, well, if you have the time, then sure, go ahead and you can browse through all the font. So for example, if I want to create a button that says next or previous, I type in next. Okay, you may find some options that you can use over here. Okay, so let's say arrow right, or let me just type in arrow. Okay, so I have tons of options for arrow, and I am going to use arrow circle up. Click on that, and FontAwesome will give you the exact CSS that you can use to class. Copy that class and go back to your course materials over here. Replace the I class with the actual font, and there you have it. Okay, you can actually just type anything you want because in the course materials, as you can see here, we've already linked up FontAwesome to the actual files. So all the styles would appear under the drop down list for suggestions over here. Okay, and that's one way to do it, but again, there's just too many fonts. You may have a better time going to FontAwesome and looking for the font that you want. Now let's look at styling this font. Okay, so remember, FontAwesome is basically, it's not an image, it's just a text that has been modified to look like an image, and therefore any class that you can apply to a text will also apply to the FontAwesome fonts. What you need to do is, once you've declared FA and then you space and then you've declared the actual font, now let's space again, and now we can use some of the default text styling options in Bootstrap, okay, which is text success, text warning, text danger, text info. So let me just put in text info. Okay, and this has changed to blue, and I can put in text success, it has changed to green. All right, and you can also specify your own colors in FontAwesome. If you don't like the default colors, all you need to do is type in your own style, and type color. Okay, and in Coda, you have some default colors over here, but you can click on color picker, and then you can fine tune your selection of the colors here to, you know, whatever you want. So if I want something really, really bright red, I can go all the way to the end, and Coda will automatically select the color code for me. All right, so that's the basic FontAwesome. Now let's talk about making the fonts bigger. Okay, so in FontAwesome, It's very easy to make the icons bigger. Once you have declared FA and space and the actual icon name, then you can put in the size. So it's FA is the default size, and then you have FA 2x, 3x, 4x, and 5x. Let's start with 2x. Okay, that makes the font twice as big. Actually, it looks more than twice as big, but let's try 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this is what I mean. The font or the icon for FontAwesome can actually replace some of the images you may want to use on your website. And that is beneficial in the sense that since it is not an image, of course, you don't have to worry about the image size or the loading speed. It loads almost instantly. And it is text. So text will scale very beautifully in all types of screen, all screen resolutions. And now let's talk about two other styling options you can use for your font. You can put a border around this font. Let me just change it back to 3x. So to put a border, just type in FA-border. Alright, now you have a border around your font. Alright, one more, and now let's put FA-spin. Okay. And now your font is actually spinning around. Well, this image, I guess, is not so suitable for to be spun around. Let's put, okay, and let's remove the border. All right, nice little animation here. And this is incredible because there are no images being used for this. It's just JavaScript, it's just CSS, it's just HTML. So that's how easy it is to start using FontAwesome all over your page or your website to create really good, gorgeous looking fonts that are so flexible you can use them anywhere you want.